What would the gods plant in their garden? How do you climb a mountain underground? Can a train chug to the top of the world? Well, seemingly unanswerable questions that would make Greek and Eastern philosophers scratch their heads and pontificate for hours. Hey, you don't have to go to an academic or theorist to find the answers to these imponderables, though. You just need to ask anyone in Manitou Springs, Colorado. Well, they'll be more than happy to furnish all the answers you need. Just west of Colorado Springs, Manitou is less metropolitan and seems almost quaint with its brick shops and quiet Main Street. But behind its Norman Rockwell exterior rests a recreation juggernaut with the expected, the rugged, and the just plain celestial. ATV trails in the Frosty Park area take off-highway lovers up and down the rough mountain paths of Colorado, while horseback routes follow the contours of the Rockies on a slow and steady course. If you want something truly heavenly, though, you'll need to set your sights here.
Most city parks just have a swing set and a slide, so we feel really lucky.
The term city park is pretty misleading when it comes to the Garden of the Gods, a 1,300-acre playground reminiscent of the famous rock formations of western national parks. One of Manitou Springs' most famous destinations, the garden was originally privately owned by Charles Perkins in the 1870s, but his own deep appreciation for the unique geologic area helped to change that status.
On his deathbed, he wrote down to his children that he wanted to give this park, and he had 6 children. They all agreed to do it. Gave the park as a grand Christmas present in 1909.
Since then, the park has become a haven for rock climbers, horsemen, hikers, and bikers, with thousands of visitors discovering what has been planted here over the past 1,000,000 years. For those who are more interested in the gods' view from Mount Olympus than what's in their garden, towering in the distance is a 14,000-foot peak that can be investigated on foot, ATV, or even rail. The Pikes Peak Cog Railway, the highest in the Northern Hemisphere by a considerable margin, actually takes you to the top of the world from the comfort of a rail car.
What we have is in the middle of the train, we have these cog rails, and they'll make the train go up or down, and that's what we use to drive the train. And that way we can go above 25% grades.
With the cog besting the forces of gravity, the train ascends Pike daily, making it the second most visited peak in the world behind Mount Fuji. At these heights, a wintry world persists even now in the middle of July.
During the whole year, it is always about 30 to 40 degrees colder up on top than it is down here.
Ascending Pikes Peak on foot has always been available to hikers, but what's so special about that when you can do the same, but from the inside out? The climb to 7,500 feet will leave you winded, especially since you have an entire mountain on top of you. Clinging to the canyon wall like some Italian monastery, the entrance to Cave of the Winds is just the first step into an underworld of immense and sometimes haunting proportions. Tales of strange happenings involving original owner George Snyder persist. The thing is, he's been dead for over a century.
He was very attached to Cave of the Winds. It was kind of his pet project. His whole family was involved with the operations here, and it was taken from him in some shady legal dealings. And so because of that, when he died, he came back here, and he's still here. And then the cave was basically sealed by the people that stole it from him. It was pretty much silent in here for about 70 years until the late 80s when we opened it up.
Tours through the cave vary from the ghostly to the grueling, with caverns climbing as high as towering peaks, allowing you literally to climb a mountain without ever seeing the sky. There are a lot of answers here in Manitou Springs for recreationists asking the right questions. You'll find what you expect if you want to go off-road or on an equestrian journey, but if you want the answers to questions you may have never asked yourself before, well, you've come to the right place. For At Your Leisure, I'm Stephen Heumann.